Namaste. A warm welcome to day 27. Many families have this question as to what a complete family is. Is a single child enough? Or should we have a second child? Or is having three children too much to handle? We'll discuss on this topic today. So let's get started. On day 27, we are talking about sibling bond. A quick follow up. Have you started saving? Have you taught about this to your kids? Did you buy a piggy bank? Have you started your self-care routine set? What is that you've decided to do for yourself, for your skin care, for your hair care? And hope you're following all the self-care routine that we have started once we started this course, and hope you're following it every day, practicing it every single day. It's been more than 15 days, guys, since we started waking up at 5 and exercising. So now it's time to extend your exercise plan. You can start exercising for longer duration now, or pick something which is more challenging than what you're doing right now. Now, what is a complete family? How many kids? Is one enough? All of us have faced a situation where when we have one kid, people, the society or family, they come to us and say, when are you having the second one? Are you done with one? Is it enough? Your child won't know how to get along with people because he's not growing up with a sibling. Oh, you have two boys? They're going to fight and separate later for property issues. Oh, you don't have a daughter? It's always nice to have one daughter.
You have three daughters. Try one last time for a son, no?
In our days, we used to have 4 or 5 children. You have money, right? What is the problem in having the third child? These are the things we constantly hear from people, right? Who should decide how many members a family should have? It should be the family's decision, right? So ask yourself, do you really need one more child? If you need, why do you need it? What is the reason that you're looking for having another child? And the answer should be that you and your spouse would want to have another member in a family. It should be your choice, it should be your decision. Never get under the pressure of what the society says, how it tries to scare you, or what are the thoughts they are putting into your head, and make a decision that you will regret later. On the other hand, if you are ready to have another child, it's the best gift you can give to your child. So, how do we decide? We need to ask ourselves, are we capable? Will we be able to manage having another new member in the family? Physically, will you be able to bear another child? Have a happy pregnancy phase? Go through the child delivery and all the sleepless nights and initial taking care of kids? It needs a lot of physical energy, right? Ask yourself if you are ready for it. Mentally, will you be able to bear with all the things that you have to give up on, all the compromises that you have to make, taking a break from your work? And this time it's going to be difficult because you already have a child and you'll have another person to care for. In your first pregnancy, it was different because you were only enjoying your pregnancy phase. But now you'll also have another child to take care of. Will you be able to manage financially? Because another child comes with a lot of added responsibilities. Upbringing of the child, education of the child. We have to consider all the expenses that will be added by having another child. So think of all these aspects and plan in advance so you don't feel that you have got into trouble once you decide having a child. It is not nice to regret giving birth to a child. So it would be better for you to think about these aspects and be prepared for it. On the other hand, if you think you're physically, mentally, and financially capable of doing it, then you clearly know what choice to make. We will also have to consider the support that we have. Is your spouse an equal parent? Will he take responsibility of sharing your tasks with the newborn? Do you have your family members or his family members who can support you in the initial days? If you will be financially able to hire a nanny for your help. And then, will you have enough time to give to both the children? If both of you are working parents, can you plan it in such a way that you can take turns and spend more time with the kids? Do you think you'll be able to do justice to both the kids? Or would it be easier to have a single child and give your complete attention to the single child? And is your first child ready? Will he be able to accept a new member into the family? If he or she is not ready, you may have to prepare them for it. And the next question, what is the right age gap between the two children? Research says that 3 to 4 is a good time to have between the kids. But this need not be a fixed rule because I have experienced my own life where my sisters are 5.5 years younger than me and we shared a great bond. It felt like as though I am their mother. I would take responsibility and I would love doing stuff for them, from giving them baths to getting their school bags ready to packing their lunch. I would do everything with joy. I'm very glad and I feel lucky that I have sisters because I would have not preferred being a single child. On the other hand, my kids have an age gap of 1 year and 7 months. Though the initial days were difficult, I see it's getting easier with time because they gel along really well. And as they are just one class apart, I see that they learn from each other. And especially the little one picks a lot of things from his brother. They share clothes, they share similar interests, and they spend a lot of time playing with each other without even needing me. And that is increasing with time. And when they are not with each other, they miss each other. So I see both cases where a long age gap has worked and the short age gap has worked too. I think it mainly depends on how we bring about the bonding between the two. So prepare them to be there for each other all their life. Bonding. When does this happen? I feel it starts at conception, the moment you realize that you're pregnant. But in fact, we've already considered getting the child ready, right? If the child is ready for the new arrival. And if not, we have tried making sure that we prepare him for the new arrival. So it's really important to prepare the child for the new arrival. Talk about it. Tell him that we are expecting another family member and a little baby would join us soon. Tell the child that he or she is going to get a new friend. Unlike at school, where they say a bye and go to their own houses, here he'll have a friend who will stay with him all the time. But also inform them that it is going to take time. The baby won't be able to play with you as soon as it is born. It will need time to grow up a bit, as initially the baby will be dependent on the mother. The baby can't walk, the baby can't talk. So it will take time for the baby to get ready to play with you. Also, get him prepared to have lesser time with the mother. Give him more time during pregnancy and tell him that once the baby arrives, as the baby is dependent on the mother will be busy with the baby doing the tasks. Tell the child that you have done all of this for him too while he was a baby. And every baby would need help like this at the initial days. Buy books and read stories related to arrival of a new sibling. Feeling of responsibility. Make the child feel that his brother is coming or his sister is coming. Like this, the child should feel that the new family member belongs to him or her. So even when you are talking to others, don't say, we are having a new baby. Say, my son is having a little brother or sister coming for him. And once the baby is born, include your child in helping you in taking care of the baby. Give him tasks like fetching the diaper or helping you put the shirt on, or teach your child how to pack the diaper bag. And when he does it, appreciate it. So, like this, he'll feel included. Ask how he feels. Ask him if the arrival of the new baby has caused him any emotional disturbance. You may ask him in a language that he'll understand and acknowledge it. Say it's normal for him to be feeling bad or feeling left out or whatever the feeling that he expresses. And explain things to him. Tell him that it's going to get better and tell the child that as the baby grows, they both can have good time together and you will also be able to give equal time to both of them. Observe for behavioral changes. If the child has suddenly started becoming arrogant or doesn't want to go to school, try and talk to the child. It may be for the fact that he is not getting enough attention like before, but it's important to sit and talk to the child. Remember, though there is a new baby in the house, your child is still a child. And plan an hour or so every single day where you let somebody else mind your baby and give your complete attention and time to your first child. And make it clear while you're giving the baby to someone else that you wouldn't want any disturbance. Say these things in front of your child so he'll know that this 1 hour will be completely for him. And he'll look forward to this time every day so that even the other part of the day, if he's feeling that he's missing you, he'll know you'll come back to him at this time. Feeling of unity. This is important for them to feel for each other. So we have to bring that feeling in between them. Appreciate. Tell them how nice it is to see them both together, how nice they gel with each other, how they always come to help each other. Do the same thing in front of others too. When you praise them and about their bond in front of others, it will give them more strength and desire to get closer. Teach them to be grateful for having a sibling. You can give example of other single children and say, see, he has to play on his own. He always wants his parents to play with him. So we have to be thankful that you have each other. You always have a friend at home with whom you can play, with whom you can have fun. So bring this feeling of gratitude between them for having each other. And the firstborn is someone who will always have more attention. Because as is the first child in the family, everything he does, we celebrate. We'll have more photographs of the first child than the second child. We would have done everything extra for this child. And the second born will have more consideration. Whatever mistakes he does, we kind of tend to let it go easily. And the second born will enjoy the baby status for a longer time. But we need to always remember to treat them equally. Each one is different, so let's never compare them. Don't say, your brother is so good at this, you're not good at it. Or look at how your brother is doing, you don't do it. So never compare like that, but instead appreciate their strengths. Say, look at how good your brother is at painting. So admire it, but don't compare. And praise the little one for whatever he is good at. Let them learn from each other. Celebrate their differences and let them be unique in their own ways. But you can't always protect them from the world. The world is going to compare that one is fairer than the other, one is smarter than the other, one is more intelligent than the other. We can't help this. What means more here is your words. So, what you say means a lot to the kids. So, for a child, even if the world says he's not good, if a mother or a father says he's amazing, he is going to take it from you. But we need to be careful not to over appreciate them. Appreciate them for what they are and for supporting what they can be. Bring a feeling of belongingness in between them. They should be each other's best friends. Sharing and taking turns. When you have a single child, everything that you buy becomes the child's. But when there are two or more children, then they have to learn how to share. And whenever one has to play with something, they need to wait for their turn. We have spoken about this while we were discussing about play, so I'm not going to talk much about that. And let them also have their own stuff so that they will take care of it. They'll have the feeling of responsibility that this belongs to them. And there are things that belongs to both of them. Rules. Have set rules for games and play fair. Don't say he's younger than you, so let him win, or let us be a little lenient towards him. No, this is unfair for the older child. I know it's difficult for the younger ones to take it easily, but being consistent and firm is very important, as what you teach at the beginning will continue forever. Even if this has not happened so far, it's okay. Even now, it's never late to change it. And you know, right? When they don't listen to you and when they are cranky, understand their feelings, acknowledge their feelings, be there with them if they want to cry, but say, we will play this game only if you accept to follow the rules. If not, let's not play this game. And when they fight with each other, what I usually do is I give them a timeout where they both have to stay in a room till they are okay with each other without any toys or without any other stimulus in the room. So the only thing they'll have in the room is each other. I have seen within no time they get along with each other and tell me that they will not fight and come out. So, like this, we give them a chance to solve their own problems. Once they are out, you can sit and discuss what the problem was and how they sorted it. If there is something that you want to give in as inputs, you can do that too. Also, they learn from each other. Pick what their strengths are and see if one person can teach the other. You can also pretend play where one is the teacher and is teaching the other child. So always give them the chance to appreciate each other. You can also make them do it. Now and then ask each other what they appreciate about each other. And when they speak to each other about what they like in each other, they feel good about how the other person is respecting them. So it will give them more reasons to love each other. And teach them values, the value of family, relationships, bonds, and how to be there for each other. So build a strong foundation for their amazing future. And we know about Family Bonding Day. So make the best use of this day to see how to improve and strengthen the bond between the family members. So today's task, guys, what's your sibling story? Were you a single child or did you have siblings? How was it growing up with siblings? How is your relationship with them now? If it is strained, you know you're a different person now, right? I'm sure you can mend it. So think about it and solve it if there are any issues. Or if you still share a great bond, message to them and say how lucky that you are that you have a sibling. Because sometimes we forget to appreciate what we have, and letting the other person know will make their day too. What's your present status and what is your future plan? Do you have a single child? Are you happy with the single child? Or are you considering having another child? If you have more children and if it is difficult, hang on them. Everything will come to place. Believe in that, trust in that. Enjoy what you're doing, and your life will start getting more and more beautiful. So come to the group and let us know about this. Send a message. And if you want to share a picture of you and your siblings or your kids, please do it. It will be a treat to the eyes. That's it for today, guys. I look forward to your task completion posts. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care.